Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jesse Heck Creative. Today we're going over the Marvel Legends Avengers figures, the Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man Mark VII. Let's get to it. So here's the Incredible Hulk. I like to say this is a good figure, but in practice it is, in execution it is not. So going over this guy here, he has all the hallmarks of a good figure. Nice sculpting, good sinewy muscles. He has a lot of scratches on here too. In the light, it looks pretty nice actually. We have a lot of good detail here, and a lot of it looks really great. The only problem is, in the dark, you can barely see it. That's right, this guy has zero wash and barely any paint to speak of on him. His pants are painted, his hair and face is painted, but everything else is just pure blandness. Yeah, the sculpt is there, but the paint is not. So, this guy looks incredibly bad as a result. Zero wash, and yet he has a lot of great details to speak of, but they're underneath a bunch of plastic here, so that's a big shame on him. I can see a lot of the sculpting detail put to work. It looks wonderful. As far as sculpt goes, the sculpting is really nice, but the paint and just look of him is just pure awfulness. I'm very upset about that. Going with the head itself, putting the body aside, taking that off, the head is just sort of just bland in a way. Getting a light closer to him. It's okay, it's alright. You could barely see that eye right there. Yeah, it's a really kind of a bummer how this guy turned out. He could have been way better in retrospect. The teeth are painted sort of awkwardly. The eyes are this sort of really just sort of kind of bad green. I have like all my lights right next to this guy, and it isn't really shining that well. So the sculpting on his face at least is sort of bad. It doesn't really look that great. I'm not a fan of it. The green on the hair is a nice little touch, but it's just very hard to see as far as the character goes. As far as articulation for the Hulk goes, it's very just standard. The head is on a ball joint, no like up and down hinge, just a plain old ball joint, that's it. Goes up with the arm, down with the arm, around, very weird articulation there with that arm. Swivels over here. The joint is kind of just okay on that. Swivels over here, and up and down for the hinge on the fist, and an up and down for the hinge on this grabbing hand. Looks like it could be holding a skull or something. It's really, weird. You're holding a head or something like, Yorick or whatever, what have you. The torso is a ball joint here. Not great range, back, forward, not really at all. The hips, not really that great at all either for these hips. And what's maybe more frustrating is the joints are really outdated nowadays. Goes up and down, switch, up and back, not as far as you'd like it to. So yeah, this guy is not getting an A+ in my book. I'm just saying. Swivel over here. You can swivel up there. It's one of those dumb wide joints that they won't let die and get rid of. Goes up this far with the really annoying pins that are huge. Down, back, forth, pivot. Pretty good pivot. And 2 peg holes at the back of the foot with all the info on the back. That's kind of nice. There's no real, prints on here. That's fine. I'm honestly wondering if I got some kind of bootleg, but this guy just looks horrible. It's a sham of what the Hulk is, and I just don't like it. The only reason they have him is to have an Avengers type Hulk. But even then, they gotta re-release this guy and make him just better. The Hulk stands at about 8 inches tall. Here's a generic suited Tony Stark body next to the Hulk. They look good to scale at least, but Tony Stark just is a way better figure in general. He looks much nicer and way cleaner, and this Hulk is just not doing it for me. He looks awful. And also here's Jesse Heck Creative. Between you and me, his head's out of frame for a reason. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also click the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. So here's Iron Man Mark VII. Putting this stuff aside, he looks really nice. I like this figure a lot. It looks really good as far as figures go. Nice sort of cherry red sheen on him. The gold looks good. We have the silver on him, and a little bit of blue near his eyes. That's it. That's about all you would want for this guy. A little bit of white too for the eyes and the chest piece. Yeah, that's kind of it. Good color scheme overall for this guy. He looks really nice as far as color goes. I'm very proud. We got little pieces right here A couple more, you know, sort of like bits and bobs of gold and silver checkered throughout the figure. This nice sort of like pauldron right over here. Looks really good. Yeah, this is Iron Man right over here. Looks really nice for this guy. So as far as the head sculpt goes, it's an Iron Man head sculpt. I like it a lot. It's a really super good sculpt. It looks really cool. You know, it's the same we've seen, I think, from a bunch of other Iron Men, and I think it's great. As far as the articulation goes for this guy, his head swivels around. It can go up and down. Not as far as I want it to. Up and then down, buries his head into the chest a little bit. And swivel also. A little bit of tilt here and there, that's fine. Goes up in the arm. This is one of my points of contention. This is rubber, this piece. It goes up and down, but it doesn't really sit flush with this, you know, arm right here. You can move the arm around, but it doesn't really affect this piece. It will break, I think, eventually, and that's really sad, you know. They got to re-update this guy and fix it so it won't break, and that's kind of like a bummer for me. But you can put this up this far, down. You can't really swivel it all around without, you know, wrecking that piece, so that's a shame. Swivel the arm all around a little bit on the top bicep. The elbow joint is pretty good, not really hindered at all by this plate right over there. Goes down over there. His hands can swivel around, goes down, goes up, but it's hindered by this plate right there. We also have torso articulation, swivels around, goes back not as far as down. That's fine by me, I guess. We do have, I think, ball hips here, but they work, I think, better functionally than, you know, the Hulk did. So we can go back this far, forward this far, not as much, and out pretty far. Really nice. You wouldn't really see him going out that far, maybe for some kind of splits thing, but, you know, it works, you know, good at least, and it's a nice joint. It looks really cool inside anyways. They made it look aesthetically pleasing, and that's nice. At least they could do that. Swivel at the top. We have a knee right there. Looks really good. Goes down. No swivel or anything at the boot. We have a swivel down here. It's one of those cool, like, you know, double, like, ball-to-ball kind of things with a swivel, you know. And then a pivot right over here and two peg holes at the bottom of the feet going right over there. He looks really great. I like him a lot. But now let's go over the accessories. So we have these two hands right over here. They look good. And they have little ports in them. You can actually put in these blast effects right over there. And that is pretty awesome right there. That's neat. Yeah, they look good, these blast effects. They're pretty nice. You can take his hands off and then place these on, making sure you have the correct hand inside the correct port. Putting that in is no issue, no problem. And now you can have him, you know, fly a little more effectively. If you want to have him in flight, just put the head up a little bit. And then, you know, have him like this. And then you can also put these flaps on his back out. It's another point of articulation that's brand new, at least with this Iron Man. Flip all the ports out. This one is a little bit loose for me at least, but it looks pretty cool having all these pieces, you know, flap out. My one point of contention with this guy is he doesn't come with enough of these, so you have to double up, I guess, if you want to, you know, use all of these with Iron Man. But yeah, he looks pretty cool actually, like this at least, having his feet, or you could put it in his hands. It doesn't matter, whatever. I actually did put him in the wrong ports. Oh well. Jinxed myself. But yeah. Overall, this is a really nice Iron Man. Really good figure, I think. You know, it's worth getting at least. Way better than that Hulk. I think any Iron Man's worth getting. They will put top dollar into their Iron Man just because they know he will sell. He's a popular character. He's one of the first in the MCU. And he's worthy of getting if you ever come across him. Just watch out for the shoulders, and I think you'll be okay. Iron Man stands at about 6 3/4 inches tall. Here's Iron Man Mark VII next to the generic Tony Stark body, and you can see how this guy fits in the suit. It works out pretty well actually here. It's slightly taller than him, but it works. He's probably wearing lifts or something, or he's on an Apple box or whatever again. That's what they actually have him, I believe, in the films, at least when Robert Downey Jr. is playing him. And also here's Jesse Heck Creative. Wow, after all these years, I never knew I can do this. That's pretty cool. It's almost like it's the power of the sun in the palm of my hand or something. Huh, that's a good line. Maybe I should write it down. What do you mean it was already written down? Who's Sam Raimi? Overall, we have a very lackluster figure and a pretty good figure. So the Incredible Hulk is just kind of bad in general. Bad articulation, really bad paint. The sculpt is actually the best part of him, but you don't get any wash or anything to let it shine. It's kind of a shame. This guy will probably be replaced in a couple years, and I really hope he will. Otherwise, he'll just languish on my shelf, I guess, next to the other MCU figures. The Iron Man is really great. Mark VII, this is a really nice Iron Man from the Avengers movie, no less. You know, his big appearance. He has some great blast effects, really nice helmet, great paint on his body, along with some good, repulsor hands, as well as some fists for fighting, and it's just super great to see this guy in the sort of metal, at least, not the flesh. He works really well with the Tony Stark figure, you know, they look great together, and another Iron Man for the Hall of Armor, and to join the Avengers in their fight against the Chitauri and Loki. Yeah, Iron Man's really good. I would pass on Hulk, but yeah, these are some pretty good Avengers figures, at least as we move through the MCU in Jesse Heck Creative. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Heck Creative. Feel free to click like, subscribe, share, or leave a comment. You can also visit us at jesseheckcreative.com, where you'll find more reviews like this one. Thanks again for watching, and keep being creative. Stay tuned!